The Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. With your hosts, Joe Bond.
You're awful.
And A.J. Applegarth.
It's Sin Shu Chu. It's a mouthful.
All right. Welcome back to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name's Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me, as always, my co-host, A.J. Applegarth. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Just trying to catch up on some baseball action on TV here. Getting ready to pod.
Yeah, man. Just watched Contreras hit a bomb against Venters. The Braves down 3-2 now, top 6. So got some good baseball action going on, and that's exactly what we'll be talking about, man. This first few days of the regular season in baseball. It's been exciting, man. We've seen some great action, and obviously most of our guys that we expected to do well, I think, are panning out, and the ones that aren't, I don't think we're too concerned about. But we do have a lot of things that have happened, injuries, demotions. Kind of I'd say more than anything, it's just kind of like guys that we thought were going to make the opening day roster just ended up not really making it. And if they did, they were in the bullpen. It's kind of like, I don't even know if I really realized that. So that's until I started looking at their stats, I'm like, how come they don't have? Oh, because they didn't actually make their rotation. Okay, cool. So let's start off here talking about some other outside baseball news here, and the AAF, they're donezo, man, done. They talked about how they had all this funding, they were good for 3 years. Nope. 8 weeks into the season, goodbye. That's it. They're done. In fact, I read a tweet just before the show that they made their players pay for their return flights home. Pretty brutal. Like, guess what? We can't pay you, and you have to pay your own way home. Like, what? I mean, I don't really understand what happened. I mean, I heard the ratings were pretty solid. I mean, they were beating some of the NCAA March Madness games. They had advertising. What do you do with that money, right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'll be honest, though, I didn't watch it. I'm not super sad. It just kind of surprises me that this happened, because I thought they were pretty set. And I thought doing football in the, right after the Super Bowl into the spring was kind of perfect, because people were still just kind of clamoring for football at that point. And you can't compete like the XFL is trying to do. You can't compete with the NFL. They're going to get absolutely hammered. So whatever sideshow the XFL thinks they're going to do, they're going to get wrecked pretty quick. But I don't know. There's probably not a lot to talk about here, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the article yesterday that popped up on ESPN about it, and they're talking about the league owner, Tom Dundon, who is also the owner of the NHL Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, this guy pledged $250 million investment and basically took over the AAF. But now all of a sudden he's the one that's like, nope, never mind. I'm going to suspend all operations at this point. We're not doing it. I mean, there were so many reports about it needing money to stay afloat, basically. But I don't know. I mean, the way that article came across to me, it didn't sound like that was a problem. But what else is it going to be? I don't understand why they wouldn't do it. Bill Polian is obviously, kind of beside himself with this whole thing, and is trying to do everything he can to still pay these players, which is, very admirable of him to do. These guys went out and they were looking as this to be, kind of their graduate studies from college to get into the NFL, if you will, because
It was
they've
kind of a
probably
minor
already
league.
played college. And a lot of these guys were already in the NFL and didn't
Some of
really
them, yeah.
cut it, and then now they're back into this to try to re-showcase their talents and everything. And I'll be honest, I didn't watch much of it either, but I mean, I saw that it was on, and I tuned into a couple of games here and there for a quarter or two maybe. So I mean, I was just kind of football's over. I'm focusing on finishing out basketball, and waiting for baseball. That's where my mindset is, and I feel like that was a lot of people are probably in that same mindset. We're trained to know here's the seasons and here's the sports that go in those seasons, and this was kind of just like, oh wait, hey, what? There's football going on? Okay, well, all right, whatever. So I mean, like you said, the viewership was decent. So I don't know, maybe something will come back of it and they'll get it figured out. But I'm not overly sad. I mean, it sucks for the players, obviously, that we're banking on that check and whatnot, and now they got to go back into something else. So
Yeah. Who knows what'll happen of it, but oh well. Speaking of basketball, man, the Final Four is upon us, and my bracket was looking mighty fine after the Sweet 16 was settled. I had 14 of 16, and now I have 0 of 4. Oh, how the tides have turned. Like, wow. The big boys, Duke, Gonzaga, North Carolina, of course I had Kentucky, they all went out. UVA, the only 1 seed left. Boo. And in their place, we've got Michigan State, we've got Texas Tech, and we've got Auburn, a 5 seed. So it's UVA versus Auburn, and we've got Texas Tech versus Michigan State. Throw down your predictions here, man. Let's see who's gonna win it.
oof. Well, yeah, my brackets are also pretty much shot. Actually, the one, it's total sidebar, but the one big pool that I'm in, the guy does like a payout for the worst, like, legit bracket. And I guess you would consider it a legit bracket if you don't just pick 16s all the way around, 15s all the way around, 14. Like, you're not just going for all of the upper seeds
Right.
and making it look like crap. So I picked our alma mater, VT, to face off against UVA because FUVA. And I had Tech going up against Florida State in the Final Four, and then UVA going up against, I believe, UNC. So
All
it was
right.
like a nice little battle there.
ACC. Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, well, that's gone. So I pretty much have secured my spot as the worst bracket for that pool. But then when I went back and looked at it, I did 5 brackets in there. Well, 4 of them are mine. 1 is my boss's. And all 5 of our brackets are the worst 5 brackets
Nice.
in the pool. And I was
Good
like,
work.
man, that is phenomenal. If I would have just reversed my mindset, I may be actually winning this thing this year with all of my pools,
Man.
but not so much. No, I mean, you look at the matchups here going into the Sweet 16, and aside from Oregon and really Auburn, which
It was
to
kinda
me
chalk.
I think was a better team than Kansas anyways.
Yeah, me too.
It was chalk all the way through.
It was.
And then now it's like, what the hell happened to the chalk?
Yeah.
It got washed away in the winter rain or something. I don't even know, but
I called it, dude. I was gonna say, like, the years I win my pools are the years where, like, I'm the bottom after the first couple rounds. When I'm at the top, I always fall flat on my face. So who knows, man?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But
So pick-wise, to get back to your original question
Right.
before I completely went off track. Shocker, I know. I think I'm at this point. I mean, it's almost hard to bet against Auburn, dude. But I think it's going to be Michigan State, UVA,
Yeah, me too.
and obviously I'm pulling for Michigan State to win the whole thing at that
Me
point.
too.
But
Me too.
I mean, I feel like it could be UVA though, man. This could be their year because of the complete debacle history maker last year. They may just come back. I mean, that would be history. It's like, oh, the first 1 seed in men's to go out, and then they come back and win it the next year.
Yeah.
That would be a great storyline. I can't, deny that. But that's the championship I think is going to happen. But I'll tell you what, man, I'd be okay with a Texas Tech Auburn one too.
Yeah, Texas Tech is looking real good, man. I did have them in the Elite Eight. It was pretty much one of the only Elite Eight teams I got right, it felt like, too. I only got like 3 or 4 of them. So, but I
think Virginia and Michigan State were the only 2 that I had.
Virginia, Michigan State,
managed.
Duke, Texas Tech.
Oh, yeah, I had Duke in most of mine. So
I guess I did have a bunch of Elite Eight teams. It was just I got wrecked by all my picks there. And it's yeah. Anyway, I'm with you on the picks, man. I'm Michigan State and UVA all the way, and I'm pulling for Michigan State. My gut says UVA is gonna win, though.
Yeah.
And who knows? My gut was wrong a lot for this tournament, apparently. So maybe we'll be okay. Oh, it looks like
my last thought on this is just I'm so happy that Michigan State beat Duke. Duke should have lost to UCF. They should have lost to Virginia Tech.
Absolutely.
And then they finally lost to Michigan State.
Dude, what a heartbreaker.
All 3 of those games, 4-point differential total? I mean, that's absurd. I just feel like they had the luckiest run going through after North Dakota State.
The book was out on Duke, man. It was make them shoot, and they can't.
Yeah.
They were so bad. I mean, the book was out. Double Zion and make everybody else beat you. So, earlier in the year, I was all over JT Barrett being the number 2 pick, even at some points the number 1, because I thought his game was more polished. The more I watch him, no. I think he'll go pro, and I think he'll go high, but I think he's going to struggle too, dude. I'm not really sure either one of these guys is like pro ready. Zion has the body for it. He's built. He can't shoot though. He's just going to be a big body in the middle, and he'll be I guess I always compare him to kind of like Draymond Green. He's going to be kind of a Draymond, like he'll score in the middle. He'll eventually get a little bit better of an outside shot just because everybody's going to make him work on it so much, but he'll just going to be a guy. Like, he'll never be able to carry a team. So, is that number 1 pick worthy? I don't think so, but so be it. So,
yeah. I mean, we'll see how it comes out, but I'm sure, Zion and R.J. Barrett are probably both gone. They're both talented guys, but the one and dones, look at Tech's team too, and obviously we're biased here, but they were an older team. I mean, Justin Robinson was senior.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Blackshear's a junior.
He's
they were
redshirt senior.
Yeah. I mean, they were a well-coached team. I'm really upset that Buzz Williams is not going to be there, but I get it. And, I wish him nothing but luck at Texas A&M.
So sad.
It is, dude. I mean, we were spoiled for the last 5 years with him there. So, but, yeah. All right. I mean, I guess I'll break into it here since you seem to be skipping it for whatever reason, unless you're saving it for the last. But the winner and still champion of the Fantasy Six-Pack Fantasy Baseball League, I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Bond.
Oh, thank you. I must thank Joel Embiid for playing as much as he possibly could at the end of the season. and Kevin Durant, and the trade from A.J. Applegarth of Bradley Beal. Fantastic. Thank you very much. No, just kidding. No, dude, my team was pretty nasty this year. Like I kind of, not to like talk too much shit, but like I pretty much called it at the end of the draft. I was like, you guys are in trouble. I just wrecked the draft. And like I had like, if you look at my draft, I think the first 5 picks were all like first and second rounders, and I don't know why, but everybody let them slip. And I was like, oh god, you guys are just destroyed. And I'm like, if my team could even remotely stay healthy, nobody's going to be able to beat me. And I pretty much had the first place from day one. I think I got passed by Alex.
Yeah, Alex held it for like a couple of weeks.
Like a week or so. Yeah, that was right when I think I had Chris Paul, and I had like 3 or 4 injuries at that point. But I was like, it's a long season. Yeah, like I had a bunch of injuries, and I was like, I'm just gonna hold on to these guys. I've got a big enough lead, and it evaporated really quick with Alex because he beat a couple teams like 8-1 or 9-0, and I lost.
Yeah.
I lost a couple weeks fairly bad, and so he passed me real quick, and then I ended up playing him the next week when my team got almost fully healthy, and then beat him, I think, 9-0. So I took my lead right back, and then just took off from there. So it was close at the end, though, man. You and I were talking, and I even said it last week. I'm like, it's all going to come down to if Durant plays, if Embiid plays, if Beal plays, because it's getting to that point in the season where they're all talking about resting, and Embiid did not play the last game of the year for the fantasy season, so that was nerve-wracking. I had Teague be officially out, Collison got officially called out, Markkanen got officially called out, and then Prince was officially called out for the rest of the year, all within our week of play. And I'm like, oh my god, so I'm missing 4 of my like, not studs, but they were 4 of my very, very good players. And I ended up
guys that contributed where you needed them to, and I like helped all of the different categories continue to build.
And Markkanen was a double-double machine there this year. Oh, yeah. And so like it was, and of course we have double-doubles. So like it was nerve-wracking. You came back on me like the next to last day of the series there, and it was like what 5-4, and I was like, oh no, what's happening? And, but
I had a little bit of a run towards the end. I knew I was kind of done for once we started, and then I started off hot, but you didn't have anybody go, so I was like, oh, okay, well, that doesn't mean a damn thing. But yeah, I mean, it was a good matchup. I wish I would have had a couple more pickups to try to like get better guys, but I think I out thought myself by trying to calculate the starts, but then I was always dropping somebody that still had 2 starts left and picking up somebody that only had 2 starts more. So it got down to the wire, and there was just nothing out there that was really
there wasn't anything great. I mean, like you texted me late Saturday night or whatever. You're like, damn, you picked up the guy I wanted to pick up, and I was like, really? This guy's like,
and then he gets a double for you the next day. I was like, come on.
Oh, did he really? Actually, I wasn't even paying attention. That's funny.
Oh yeah, he totally did. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those like, so like, I don't want to give away this secret too much, but it's probably not too much of a secret. But like, one of the things I did toward the end was I started picking up, when I picked up players on Friday for Saturday, I made sure they had Saturday and Sunday starts. Because that way I got double starts out of them, because I knew we had limited pickups. So like that's a key thing to look for these last weeks of the season.
I was looking at that all over the place, basically trying to find guys that had 4 starts for the week in general.
Well, yeah, that helps too. But then at the end, when like we're scrounging,
even at the end, like the first couple of days, trying to find the guys that didn't play early in the week and still randomly had 3 games, or that 2 game on the weekend. So
yeah, it was tough because most teams played either Saturday or Sunday. Very few teams played both, and I ended up finding Beverly was on the waiver wire because I ended up dropping him earlier in the week because he was hurt. And then he came back, and of course he did nothing for me on Saturday, so thanks for that. And I don't even think I played him on Friday or Sunday. But picked up Beverly because he had a 2-start weekend, and then some other, I don't even know his name, dude. I couldn't even tell you, like Mo or Bo something or other. I don't even know. But picked him up because he was a Saturday Sunday start, and he did okay for me. It was fine. Yeah, again, not a lot out there, but I'll take it, man. 2 years in a row. I know it's not the most competitive fantasy basketball league, but hey, I'm not like super crazy into it either. It's just for fun, but it's fun to take it down 2 years in a row. So, all right, man. Well, let's get this show on the road. I'm sure people are bored of hearing about us talk about fantasy basketball. So, with that in mind, we've got our beer of the week here, and I need a new sound mixer thing. Oh, there we go.
Beer.
Nice. All right, man. Well, I've got my local brewery that you hit up the other day, and it is Brookeville Beer Farm Drinkin' Buddies New England Double IPA. It's a mosaic hopped with notes of apricots and a subtle blueberry finish. It's definitely fruity. I definitely do get that. I smell them too. I taste the mosaic hops for sure. It's kind of a thicker, not thick like Guinness thick, but like, you know what I mean by like thicker IPAs. They're kind of just heavy.
Yeah.
This is a thicker IPA. And it's in a can, so I can't see it, but I almost wonder if it's almost close to a hazy. Because it kind of has
thinking.
that, like, that's what it kind of tastes like. I should probably pour some into a glass to find out, but it's all right. I gave it a 4.25 on Untapped. I do like it, but I'm drinking a pounder today. It's 16 ounce. That's the can size it comes in. So if I get through the entire show, I might start slurring my words a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, you'll have to tag me on Untapped, and then I'll do the same. So I'm divulging into the second of my beer of the month taster that I got last week. Same beer company, Boulder Beer Company out in Colorado. This is their Shake Chocolate Porter, and I'm usually not like a porter stout person, but this is really damn good. I don't know. Maybe it's partially because I'm eating like a brownie with it as well. Not that kind of a brownie, just a regular brownie. But the added chocolate, I guess, is really just pulling the notes. It's only 5.9, ABV, but it's really tasty, man. I'm kind of torn between giving it a 3.75 to a 4 on Untapped. I mean, and it surprised me. I'll put it that way. I have had one of each of the 4 different beers at this point, but I will save. I'll save the third one for next week if we end up doing a show next week.
Yeah, good stuff, man. All right, so we do not have a guest this week. We'll try to get back into those in a couple weeks. We're going to take a couple weeks off there for that. But the headline this week for baseball, I think, is just the Yankees injuries. And, we already knew about Severino. We knew about Hicks. We knew about Betances. I don't know if they had anybody else to begin with. But the big ones to come out this past week, just the past couple of days, is Stanton has a bicep strain? I don't know if they really called it anything yet. You wrote on here could miss 3 weeks. I know that the last I read, you must have just updated this, and I've been out all night with my daughter's softball team, is I read that they were just shutting down for 10 days just to get it let them rest it or whatever. And it was always only going to be out for the 10 days, maybe a little bit longer, but 3 weeks now? Whoa. I mean, that's what are they calling the injury now? Do you have an update on that I'm not aware of?
Uh, no, I mean that's what I wrote on it yesterday when I was filling out the sheet here. But they have it shown. They're just showing biceps from RotoWire. Could return in 3 weeks, is what was reported by John Heyman of MLB Network. So, um, I mean, he's going to avoid all baseball activities for 10 days.
Oh, maybe that's what I was
Uh,
reading then. Okay, I see what you're saying
yeah.
now.
So Clint Frazier is going to see the majority of the regular game time in the outfield, since Hicks is still also out. Um, but they, this obviously opens up a little bit more playing time for Greg Bird as well, I believe. So if you went out and drafted him, or even picked him up over this past week of ball, look for him to maybe hopefully start taking off, because he has been pretty disappointing so
Yes,
far
he has.
since he left spring training.
Yeah, typical Graybird.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a big one. I moved him down my rankings for outfielders at least 10 spots or so, but that's when I thought it was only a 10-day thing. I guess I completely read the news wrong. That's my fault. So if it's 3 weeks, then I'm going to have to move him down a little bit more. Um, but yeah, it's a big one, man. The Yankees are, they have not gotten off to the best start this year. Long season, probably nothing to worry about here with the Yankees overall, but they need these guys to get healthy and healthy fast, or they could fall behind. The Red Hot Rays, man, they're crushing it right now. It's crazy. And those O's, yeah. But another big injury, and this one could be devastating, man, I think, is Miguel Andujar, torn labrum, or partial tear, maybe. I don't know. They're going to try rehab for now, but surgery is, in my opinion, it's probably just inevitable. Um, and obviously, if that happens, he's going to miss all of 2019. But even if he just PTs it, he's going to miss significant time. He's going to miss weeks, months. I mean, he's going to be gone for a while. And that obviously opens up playing time for DJ LeMahieu, who was, kind of in and out of the lineup as the season started with Andujar in there. So today I think he batted leadoff. So it looks like I've seen him anywhere from the 8th and 9th to leadoff now. So, and I wonder if that's a lefty-righty thing. I haven't looked at the breakdown, but I know his splits against lefty-righties is pretty strong. So I'm guessing that's what it is, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out when Hicks comes back, and then, maybe they just find a place for Bird, or I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. So for now, though, DJ LeMahieu is going to get a huge bump in playing time, and he becomes fantasy relevant immediately. Before he wasn't. So what's your thoughts here on Andujar injury?
Yeah, it's definitely devastating. I love the LeMahieu option. I mean, he was already kind of going to be their super utility. So in a daily league, where you can switch him in and out if he was going to be bounced out of the lineup for, a Greg Bird or a Voit or whoever, now he looks like he's definitely going to be a fixture there for probably this whole season. He's going to gain third base eligibility. He had already made a couple of starts there as it was before this injury really kicked in. So, this just only helps that he's going to have second and third within, I don't know, another week or so, week and a half at most. So he's looking at, second, third, corner and middle outfield, utility, infield position. I mean, he's going to be able to play on numerous slots on a team, and I don't feel like he was heavily drafted. So
No, he wasn't in most leagues.
I
Most
mean,
redraft leagues now.
yeah, I think every league that I'm in, he was not drafted, but he's been picked up since. So, and I got him in one of them, so I'm stoked about that. But I think it's a huge boost for him. I mean, we kind of already touched on how him being on that offense is going to be good for him anyways. So definitely a shame for Andujar. to see his season go down like that. Assuming that he's going to be out at least half of the year, if not the whole year, if he has to do the surgery.
Yeah, it's a rough blow, but yeah. So Yankees down, man. Yankees down, and it's a tough blow because lots and lots of fantasy relevancy on that team. So let's move on here with some more of the injuries and get these out of the way here. Hunter Strickland of the Seattle Mariners. He's on the 60-day DL, grade 2 lat strain. Yeah, no true timetable when he's gonna be back, but it's gonna be a while. So just drop him at this point. Corey Knebel, Tommy John surgery. Kind of saw this one coming before the season even started. They talked about shutting him down and getting a bunch of second and thirds opinions, and you just saw it coming from a mile away. Josh Hader is absolutely a beast now. And I've moved him in my rankings up to the number 2 closer behind Diaz. And honestly, I was very tempted to move him number 1 because Hader is just a monster. And then Kershaw'itis. I like that.
That was my little fun play on
that's
his.
yours. All the credit to AJ there for
I
that
could
one.
have said something a little worse, but I'll leave it at that.
All right. Family-friendly show, folks.
Yes, of course.
So shoulder injury. He's been rehabbing, been throwing. He's going to make a rehab start tomorrow, the 4th of April. So keep an eye out for that. I mean, look, when he's on the mound, there's no denying his talent. When he's on the mound, he's legit and he's good. It's just a matter of how much he plays. And it's one of the reasons why I did not go after him in any of my drafts. So
yeah, I don't own any stock in Kershaw. I didn't really plan to unless he absolutely fell hard, and he did in my one league. I was like, is this the time that I decide to do it? But he got snagged on the way back to me, so I was like, all right, no, I'm good. So glad I'm not dealing with the Kershaw'itis this year. Some hitters that we got listed here. Trey Turner is now on the IL-10 with a finger injury. He does not have a timetable yet, but he should definitely miss plenty of time. Francisco Lindor, who we already talked about, he started the season on the IL with a calf injury, but then also tweaked his ankle. Looks like he's still a few weeks out from returning to game action, but hopefully he can ramp up and not have this be a continual lingering issue. If it looks like it's going to be, just rest the guy. I need his help in the fantasy 6-pack league at some point, although I am crushing it this week.
Yeah, you are.
So eat it, smell the glove. All I smell is a loss coming your way. Daniel Murphy, also another finger issue. He's going to stay on the IL for at least 1 month. It's an immediate bump for Ryan McMahon, who was kind of already in talks with him and Hampson, potentially splitting time, but now it's going to be him and Mark Reynolds that will potentially be looking at time at first base. Joey Wendell, not heavily owned probably, but a guy that I owned in multiple leagues, so I threw him on here. He is now on the IL-10 with a hammy injury. Hopefully he'll just miss the minimum here, but we've seen how hammy injuries can affect athletes that run. So this is something to keep an eye on if you were looking at him as a one of your corner middle infield kind of utility guys. And Justin Upton, who I don't know if we actually mentioned in preseason preview shows, but he's dealing with a toe injury. He's on the IL-10. He's going to be out 8 to 12 weeks. So don't plan on having him in your lineups for quite a while.
Yeah, Yeah, big blow there for the LA, and Mike Trout kind of needs some help in that lineup. There, got that big contract, and he's just not doing a lot right now because basically nobody pitches to him, as they shouldn't. But so we're gonna move on here to the closer chart. I'm gonna let you have the floor here for this one, Mr. Closer Chart.
All right.
Go do your thing,
All right,
man.
yeah. Sorry, as I finish my bite of brownie. Hold on, let me wash it down here with some of this Boulder Beer Company Shake Chocolate Porter.
What is this, a commercial?
Delicious.
Jesus. Okay.
Yes, shameless plugs all around here. So this is our little update on Fantasy Six Pack Closer Chart, which I have taken mostly over for this year. This is my baseball article, if you will. Just wanted to highlight some of the things that we've kind of already touched on a little bit, and just see where we're at with some of these things. So be sure to keep an eye out on the website every week. Usually around Thursdays, I'll be updating the chart as needed, and may potentially update the article part of it with some news and notes if there is any. But the chart's the big thing to keep an eye on. So Arizona situation is currently still in Greg Holland's hands. We did talk about this a little bit with Bradley getting moved to more high leverage situations, and surprisingly, them giving Greg Holland the keys to the Jeep in the closing role. We still think this is a little bit of a drunken move on their part. We'll see how it all comes together.
So far, so
so
good.
yeah,
though,
let me reverse real quick for those of you who have not seen the closer chart yet. We're keeping the play on the Fantasy Six Pack and our beers of the week, mantra that we live by here on the podcast. And our job security is more of a blood alcohol content level for the closer situations. So we have sober, which is guys who are not going anywhere. We've got buzzed, who guys are getting a little tipsy. They're still pitching well, but starting to show some cracks, and it's a situation to start monitoring. And then we have drunk, which is just plain, I don't even understand why this is this way. And then the last is our hammered wingmen, which is the committee of closers. So, all right.
We wanted to call
situation.
the Uber, but we changed our minds.
Yeah. So the next situation here is the Kansas City situation. I have it listed here. It's shaky at best. Brad Boxberger has pretty much gone from one of the lead hammered wingmen to just drunken in a corner. Ian Kennedy, former starter, got a shot and a save in the ninth inning earlier this week. He looks like he could get some more save opportunities. So if you have a league where you have starting pitcher roster spots and you want to play some relievers that can get you points on multiple days, he's a good guy to look at if he remains getting some closing chances. And then I've just got a couple of different teams here that I just kind of wanted to highlight. We were initially looking at them as sober, but now they could be going to buzzed. They could just be getting straight hammered drunk, or they could become a hammered wingman situation. I've got Baltimore, Cincinnati, Seattle, and Philly. So let's just get your take on these real quick. Baltimore. So Michael Givens was our sober to start the year, and he's pitched okay, but they've been bringing him in early.
This is straight committee now, man.
I think this one is absolutely going hammered wingmen at this point. They've got so many different guys back there with Paul Fry.
Richard
Jack
Bleer.
Bonus.
Well, they've been playing
Yeah.
Richard Bleer, Starling.
Yeah.
Not Starling Castro.
No, Miguel Castro.
Miguel
He got a
Castro.
save yesterday.
Yeah, and Gibbons sitting in the bullpen just waiting his turn. So yeah, this is a straight up committee now. Like you cannot predict it at this point. So
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. Not even close. But whatever.
I didn't. Yeah, to start the season, I didn't. I figured maybe down the line if they were going to continue to be, a shaky team. But I mean, they're leading the NL or AL East, I believe. 3-2, I think they are now.
No, because Tampa has a better record.
Oh, Tampa's up there. Okay, yeah. So, but still, shocker that they took 2 of 3 from the Yankees to start. We've already talked about their injury issues, but yeah, I mean it's been a good start for Baltimore overall, but something to monitor if you had any of these closers or relievers. Cincinnati, Raisel Iglesias has not at all looked like Raisel Iglesias. He's killing me in a couple of leagues right now. I mean, he's pitched 2 1/3 innings, given up only 3 hits, but he's given up an earned run in each outing. He's walked 3 guys. He only has 1 strikeout, and he did give up a homer in the first game on opening day there, and he got the hold. That was it. He lost Sunday. No, Monday, 4-1. So
Sure wasn't Saturday?
It might have been Saturday. I don't know.
I'm being a jerk.
Just kidding. So, I mean, I still think that he's the guy, but David Hernandez came in and got the save in one of their games. They still got Jared Hughes there, so I'm gonna end up moving this one to buzzed for now, and then kind of see what happens. What are your thoughts on Cincy?
Dude, I mean, I was saying this earlier in the spring training is they had come out and said that he wasn't going to be the primary closer every time. I think he's going to get the majority of them, but it's why I dropped him down from I think I had him at one point number 4 or 3 on my relievers, and I dropped him down to number 10. And it looks like I might have had to drop him. I should have dropped him farther, but I still think he's one of the better relievers in the game. It's early. I mean, we've seen some guys. Your boy David Robertson for Philly, who I think you're going to talk about next, is struggling as well. But I think these guys are going to come around. I mean, they're too good to 1 or 2 innings. If we're talking in the middle of July and they have 1 or 2 bad outings after 15 or 16 good ones before that, if not more, then we're saying oh, whatever, it's a bump in the road. But it's the very beginning of the year, and so we all freak out. This is what happens, right? But I just think with Iglesias, he loses value because they've got the new Milwaukee bullpen coach, and he is going to play matchups with his best reliever like he did with Hader. Hader absolutely should have been the closer last year, but he liked to be able to use him in those long relief, go out there and pitch 2 innings and go strike out everybody that you see. That's what he did with Hader. So anyway, that's my take on Iglesias.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm just going to mark him down as buzzed for this week's update. I don't think he's going to lose the job anytime soon, but he just might start not getting all these opportunities like you talked about. Seattle, we kind of touched on earlier with Hunter Strickland going to the IL 60. This one is definitely going to be a hammered wingman option right now. I mean, there's so many different arms. You got Guerin back there. You got your boy Swarzak that you picked up. I think that's how you say his name. I mean, there's just all kinds of relievers there that are getting opportunities and that are going to fill in his absence. Maybe one comes up with a lead role there, but once Strickland's healthy, he's going to take it back over, would be my guess. So I'm going to move that one to hammered wingman.
Oh yeah, you should.
Or wingman.
And no, keep in mind, I only picked up Swarzak because it sounds like he's going to be the main closer, but we're a saves holds league, so even if he's not getting all the saves, I can get the holds. We can take more of a chance on these iffy bullpens because you still get the holds. So before you kind of throw me under the bus and say I picked up this crappy reliever who may not get all the saves. Let me explain myself.
Oh, no. I was by no means trying
Uh-huh.
to throw you under the bus. I was merely just
Stating the
talking
fact that I picked up a
about
crappy closer.
the crappy guy that you picked up.
Wow.
So
I do have 0 saves and holds after a week, thanks to no thanks to your boy David Robertson.
yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm sure it's a widely known fact that I am a diehard Phillies fan. For anybody who has listened to the podcast, um, I, I was excited about the Robertson signing. I have gone on record on podcasts in the past as totally, throwing him under the bus when he was with Chicago and claiming that he was not going to be a good closer for them that year and he was going to have less than 35 saves or something that he had hit for 3 years straight. But I was stoked when they got him. Sir Anthony Dominguez was solid in the role last year, but both of these guys have not pitched well so far this year. Robertson especially, he's in 2 innings pitched, and he's given up 3 earned, 2 walks, only 1 K, has no saves, no holds. He's in the negatives for fantasy points at this point. Dominguez only has 1 inning pitched, but he's got 2 Ks to 1 walk, and he does have a hold. So I guess he's pitched better by the sheer stats of it. I don't know. I just I'm confused at what to think of this. I'm probably going to switch this one to buzzed for now. I don't think that they're going to make a move. They obviously brought in Robertson to be their guy. They're paying him to be the guy. But they do have a lot of bullpen options. They've still got Pat Neshek, who's got closing experience. Was more of a holds guy, but again, has closing experience. They got Hector Neris, who's closed some games out for them in the past. They got Juan Nicasio, who they've brought in. You got Adam Morgan, who's got a hold on the year and a win in 2 1/3 innings pitched. So, I mean, there's other guys that are there. I don't see them turning to any of those guys right now, but definitely something to monitor if you are an owner of Robertson or Dominguez, because he could end up being the beneficiary if Robertson continues to struggle.
Yeah, I
What do you
mean,
think?
I'd rather have the closer, but at this point, like, of course, in our league, it doesn't matter. I think basically whenever whoever gets the save, the other guy's going to get the hold in most cases, because I don't see a lot of guys in that Philly rotation going 8 innings or them bringing in a guy for 5 and then another guy in for 3 type of thing. I think in most cases you're going to see, you're going to see a combination of Robertson and Sir Anthony Dominguez at the end of the games more times than not. So it doesn't really affect people in saves and holds leagues, but yeah, in saves leagues, like, you got to keep an eye on this because it hasn't started well for either one of them. Honestly, the team's been winning a lot of games and they haven't needed it. So,
Yes, that's pretty much all I got for the closer chart. But take a look. We should have the new chart out by Friday. We'll
yeah,
say on the website.
I think the idea is you were going to have it updated Thursday most weeks with, like, the large update, and then, like, if there were big changes in the middle of the week or something like that, you'd go in and adjust it. And that's kind of the same thing I do with the rest of the season rankings. I update those on Tuesday with the major updates, and then, like, if Stanton gets hurt on a Thursday, right, I'll go and update the rankings, but I'm not going to update the article per se. So just keep that in mind. That's how most of these things work. Anyway, man, let's get into kind of the same old, what we have to talk about every year. Because, look, it happens every year. As human nature, we panic. Or we get overexcited about a guy, right? With 5 or 6 games under our belt. Slowly roll, people. Slowly roll. Like, I get it. Things change, and they change quickly. And, you want to catch trends, positive or negative, before they even happen, right? Before they become, like, not a trend anymore. Like, they are just the real deal, right? So, um, we're going to talk about some players who have gotten off this stars that have gotten off the slow starts, stars that have gotten off the fast starts, and then kind of these surprise starts from the so-called non-star players. The fantasy players, I think, have heard of most of these guys. But your average person may not know who some of these guys are, and even fantasy owners, like a lot of these guys may not really be owned, or they're under owned, or things like that, or just they're not they're not Mike Trout, right? So they're not talked about. I'm going to cover some hitters, and we're going to start off with the stars off the slow starts, and you're going to cover the pitchers here. So I'm going to start off with Manny Machado, and I know he just hit a homer tonight, but he's been pretty bad to start the year. And look, I have nothing but faith in him to think that this is going to continue this way. Now, he's gotten off to looking at the stats before tonight's game, and I don't have those in front of me, but I'm looking at Baseball Reference, and I'm looking to see that he had a 217 average. His OBP was only 250. I mean, he's never been a big walk guy, but no home runs, 1 RBI, no couple runs, so decent, but 6 strikeouts already. Like, we see this a lot. These guys get off these slow starts, especially after they sign these gigantic contracts. You hope it doesn't carry over, and I don't really think it will with him, but it definitely could. It definitely could. I don't know if you have any. Do you have any concerns with him?
With Manny, no. I mean, it's a new team, new ballpark, new place to get used to. I'm not worried about him, though. I think he'll be fine. It's way too early to panic on Manny right now.
I think we just heard me scroll over an ad on a site, and it just the audio chimed in the middle of that. So I apologize for that.
No problem. Moral of the summary: do not panic.
Yeah, no kidding. So, all right, who's your first pitcher that we should be, looking at here and kind of keeping an eye on with stars and off the slow starts?
I mean, off to slow start, I'm going to go ahead and talk about, again, hometown hero, Aaron Nola. I mean, he had a pretty good first start, but he got kind of beat up today. I mean, he's got first start, he went 6 innings strong, gave up only 1 earned, but he walked 5 guys. He did strike out 8, though, so that's nice, and only gave up 2 hits in the win against Atlanta on opening day. But today, he only went 3 innings, gave up 6 earned, 2 more walks, and only 2 more Ks. Got mashed for 3 homers and on 5 hits. So when you give up 5 hits, usually you're thinking, okay, that's not too bad. But when 3 of them are homers, that is bad. That is not good for your line. Again, I'm not overly worried about Nola. I mean, he was my pick to get the Cy Young this year. It's early. It was 3 innings. He had a rough outing. Every pitcher is going to have a rough game. So I'm not that worried about him.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say about Nola is look, I think he's a good pitcher. I'm not truly concerned about him. Um, I did think there was going to be some regression for him because his BABIP was pretty low against his. He did walk. I mean, it wasn't in. His walk rate's fine. His left on base was like 82%, which isn't great. It's just it felt like there was something that was gonna give with him, especially with that BABIP. Like if he just got unlucky a little bit, I don't think the home runs are gonna be there for him like that. Like that's kind of out of the ordinary for him. But I wouldn't expect to see a low 2 ERA again from him. So with DeGrom and Max there in the NL, I think it's going to be hard for him to get that Cy Young unless he can repeat that nasty ERA again. Because those guys, I think they're just going to be right there in it again. But
Yeah. The walks are a little concerning to me right off the bat, but
yeah,
again, I think it's just needs to get some tweaks. So, who else you got?
Yeah, so mine's going to be Mr. Alex Bregman, and this was my AL MVP pick. So we're picking two of our own here, and he's starting off pretty slow, batting 200. He does have a home run, so that's good at least. He does have at least one stolen base, but he's just not making good contact right now, it seems like. And that whole Astros team is kind of struggling. In fact, it's kind of weird to see. I just saw a tweet. Listen to this. Oh man, I wish I'd really thought about me saying this, but where did it go? So a few days into the season, right? We've got the Red Sox, Astros, Yankees, and Cubs are a combined 6-16. The Orioles, the Tigers, the Twins, and the Mariners are a combined 19-7. Just as we all predicted, right? So, dude, it's the beginning of the season. I think what we're seeing happening is a lot of these guys didn't get a lot of playing time in the spring, right? And you're seeing it, and so they're kind of playing catch up. It's a long season. A lot of these guys know they just need to ramp up, and their teams will be fine. Bregman, Manny, these guys will all be fine. But I mean, any sort of concerns? It doesn't look like anything's really changed for him, except he's just not making great contact right now. It's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Breggs. Obviously as an owner and him being one of my keepers, he came into the season injured, so or into late spring training injured. So
Yeah.
I'm not overly concerned yet. I'm going to give him a fairly long leash to get it straightened out, and I think that he will. So I'm not that concerned. He's too talented of a guy, and he's got too much talent around him in that Houston offense as well.
Yeah, but they need to pick up. They need to pick it up too. So, all right, man. Well, let's
Oh,
move a
yeah.
little faster here. We are running a little long, so let's go with your second.
All right.
Your second pitcher here for Stars off to a slow start.
Well, this again is your AL Cy Young winner, Mr. Chris Sale. Boston is sitting at 1-5, and two of the losses are saddled with Sale. Kind of the opposite of Nola, though. He got lit up in his first game on opening day against the red hot Seattle. Only lasted 3 innings and gave up 7 earned, only 4 Ks. Also 3 home runs. Gave up another home run yesterday to Oakland, but he did manage 6 innings, and that homer was the only earned run. So, I think he'll figure it out. The guy's way too good.
The one thing I'll say about Chris Sale, and it's hard to say what's happening, is that he had the injury at the end of the year last year, right? That obviously hampered him, and they were limiting his innings as much as they possibly could. He came into spring, and they really wanted him to take it slow, and he did. He barely pitched, and his velocity is down. The first outing, his velocity, I want to say, was like mid to low 90s. And last night it was low 90s into the high 80s. So that is a concern. I mean, he pitched. Look, he only allowed the one earned run last night, but he only struck out one guy. So, and that's not Chris Sale, right? Like, you're expecting, 9 to 10 Ks almost every time he goes out there and pitches 6-7 innings, right? That's just what he does. It's great that he wasn't allowing like hard contact, and he let up the home run. I mean, like, good. Your best pitchers are letting up home runs. Unlucky that he lost, right? Like, okay. So I don't know if it's because he started off slow and he's having to like get up his arm strength or whatnot, or if that injury that held him out, not held him out, but like limited him at the end of last season, is now still hanging around. And they're just, he's saying he's fine, but look, a lot of guys are going to say they're fine. Maybe he's just one of those guys that won't say anything. And I don't know. It is something to keep an eye on. I think I'm going to hold at this point because I don't think even if you try to sell him, you're going to get anything worth a damn. Well, you're going to get good stuff for sale, but you're not going to get what you should for sale. And so that's why I would not trade him. So be careful.
Yeah, you can't trade him.
I guarantee you those questions are out there. I've already seen them. So
I wouldn't be surprised to have him out there, but yeah, I think you got to hold on to this guy. There's no way that you're going to get what you should get for him right now if he's going to pitch like this. But if he continues to pitch like this, it's going to be even worse to try to get something for him. So
yeah,
it's a fine line.
It is a fine line, but I'm risking it. I'm risking that he's going to figure it out and get back. So,
yeah.
I mean, off to some stars that are off to fast starts. And, I mean, not a lot to say here, man, but Chris Davis, whoo, boy. I'm happy about this because I traded for this guy. Traded 2 good pitchers in a points league, by the way, which you don't do because points leagues, most of them are pretty pitcher heavy. Pitchers usually win you the league, but he has already mashed 5 home runs this year. Now, granted, they've played a couple extra games, but still, he's already got 5 home runs. I mean, he's just killing the ball right now. So, very happy to see that. He is a little bit below his average at 241, so we need to see him tick that up to 247 here very soon, or I'm going to be very worried. Mr. 247 for 5 straight years or whatever the hell this crap is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus, I think, spring training or something like that. It's just insane. Anyway, yeah, Chris Davis is a monster and happy to see him get off at a fast start. I ranked him a little higher than a lot of people did, and I was getting a little like, really, you're kind of overreacting. How come you wouldn't have ranked him that high last year? I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't really paying attention to him last year, apparently. So, I'm all in. So, go Chris Davis with a K.
Yeah. I like Davis, and the only reason I didn't draft him in my one league is because he was only a utility. So
right, I've got outfield.
I needed outfield. Yeah. So
Fantrax. Yeah, thank you.
The first pitcher I want to talk about here is Mr. Garrett Cole, another one of my keeper players. He had a really good first game, 10 Ks in 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, but only 1 earned, and it was a home run. He did take the loss, but, the Ks are there still. You like seeing that. He's getting a little beat up right now. Not sure if he's still in this game, but he went 6 innings again against Texas tonight, gave up only 4 hits, but 3 earned and 3 walks, another 9 Ks. Not worried.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm good with Cole.
Yeah.
So my next one here is Christian Yelich, and I mean, Dude, the Christian Yelich truthers out there are going absolutely insane after the first few games. I think he had 4 home runs in his first 5 games or 3 games or something like that. I know he's 4 for 4. I do remember that. But anyway, he's got 4 home runs. He's just amazing. This guy could easily repeat his MVP. I kind of thought last year was a little bit of a fluke with the power, but apparently I'm dead wrong because he just came out and mashed right away, and just it's fun to watch, man. The guy is incredible. So, yeah, Yelich is looking good, and everybody who drafted him in the first round is feeling real good about it.
Yeah, dude's a monster right now, and another guy I was just like, he's not really that good a couple years ago, and then boom, he totally shut me up. So the other guy I got here is DeGrom. 2 games so far, again including today. He's gone 13 innings total, given up 8 total hits, 2 walks, 24 Ks, 2 wins, which you don't usually see with DeGrom. So it's nice that he's actually getting wins this time. If he can keep racking them up and get, 11, maybe 12 this year, he's another lock for Cy Young.
Yeah, DeGrom and tonight's game also, dude, like absolutely amazing. 14 strikeouts tonight. Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and he hit a home run.
Yeah, crazy good, man. Like totally nuts good. Yeah, I've got him in a couple different leagues, so I'm feeling good. TGFBI, I'm loving that one because it needs some help. My hitting is struggling. I've got so many injuries. So much for feeling good after that draft. Anyway, yeah, DeGrom, obviously DeGrom, like I mentioned before, he's gonna be there and be there all year. So before I move on to my surprise stars, I've got kind of a fun stars off the fast starts, and this is Mr. Boring Adam Jones, right? Like we've mentioned him in that breath before a few times, and dude, he started off the year real well, batting a little under 400, 3 bombs already. Look, I'm kind of kidding. This is not going to continue, but it's good to see him. Like I root for him. Obviously, he's been a lifelong Oriole. Well, not lifelong, but it feels like that, right? Like he's just there forever, and so you got to root for the guy. So it's just fun to kind of see that happen. But my moving on to surprise starts from non-star players is a guy that I started really buying into near the end of spring, and we talked about him with Jake Seeley, and then even the show after that, and Domingo Santana just really started jumping on this bandwagon. I saw his spring, and he was playing well, and really looked into him a little closer, and just realized that his down 2018 was more so because he just didn't get the playing time than anything. He has obviously come out like gangbusters, and he's just been crushing it. He's got, I want to believe, he's got 5 home. I'm pulling up the stats right now. I had him there for a second, but he's got 3 home runs so far, but he's got a league-leading 11 RBI. He's batting number 300. He's got a couple steals already. I mean, the guy is just, he's hitting the ball, man, and I think he's out to prove that his 2017 was not a fluke at all, where he hit 30 home runs. So I'm all in on this guy as a potential top 20 outfielder type player. I think top 30 is almost a lock with him. And that's what he was in 2017. He was a top 30 outfielder. And I think top 20 is very well in his reach if he can, because he's going to get every bit of playing time that he can handle in Seattle. So I think it's there for him to do. So
yeah, I like Santana a lot as well. I grabbed him in a couple of leagues. two of my three, obviously, since you own them in Fantasy Six Pack. So
I
he's
drafted
been
him
awesome
early,
for
and
me.
people gave me crap for it, and I was like, nope, got him.
No,
Y'all have fun.
He's a monster. Dude. He's awesome. So,
A little cheat code
I-
too, because I knew we drafted after the Japan game,
Yeah.
so I knew I'd get those 2 home runs from him or whatever it was. So it's kind of a cheat code,
Yeah.
but hey, whatever.
it's all good. It works.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, I got 2 main guys here and one just for fun as well, because it's an Oriole. First guy I got, Matt Shoemaker. I mean, he's gone 7 innings pitched in both his starts so far on the 29th and tonight against the Orioles. Has given up 2 hits in each game. He's walked 2 and then 1 tonight. He's got 15 Ks total, so he's very consistent with what he's doing. Granted, it was Detroit and Baltimore, so that's probably why those K numbers are a little more inflated. 2 wins. I mean, nobody really saw this coming from Shoemaker. I mean, he's had some success back when he was with the Angels, but he's always injured, so he never pitches. So you never see anything.
Yeah, it's been a while, right? I mean,
the
it feels like we haven't seen him forever. I kind of forgot he was there.
Yeah. So the next start is coming next Tuesday against Boston, who, as we said, is struggling right now. So that could be interesting. But
could be the good time
he's
to
sitting
get
on
them.
Yeah, exactly. He's sitting on a 0 ERA. I don't think I see that 0 ERA staying at double or triple zeros next week.
Nah, probably not.
Yeah. So I'll just jump in. The next guy I got here, because I know we're running a little long, is Mr. Freddie Peralta, or as our friend Tyler says, what is it? Fastball Freddie?
Fastball Freddie. Hell yeah, man. I love the nickname. I want it to stick.
All right.
I don't know if he made it up, but I want it to stick. I love it. Fastball Freddie.
So he looks like he pitched in relief in his first outing of the year against St. Louis. Only went 3 innings, gave up 6 hits and 4 earned. Only struck out 3, but he had 8 innings pitched to 2 hits, no earned, no walks, 11 Ks, and the win today against Cincy. So very impressive start. Kind of inconsistent, I guess, but you'll take that stat line from tonight any day.
Yes, you will.
And my for fun pick is Mr. David Hess of the Baltimore Orioles, who also came in and pitched in relief for 2 innings on opening day. Only giving up 1 hit, striking out 2 against the Yankees. Dude went 6 1/3 and had 1 walk and 8 Ks and notched the win in a no-hitter for him on Monday. So why? I'm still confused as to why the manager came out and pulled him.
I mean, it's because he had 40 pitches, I believe. I didn't look it up, but I heard somewhere that he pitched 40 pitches that first day. So you're looking at a guy who, he's not an elite arm. It's the 4th game of the season or whatever it was, and it's just, look, enough's enough. We're not going to ruin this guy's season because he's got a no-hitter. I mean, yeah, you could argue you're ruining his season because he's got a no-hitter, and potentially that's the only no-hitter he'll get of his career. But we've seen it before, and I was talking with somebody today at my daughter's softball game because he's an O's fan, and there was a guy I want to say it was the Tigers a few years ago, that he ended up getting a no-hitter, and it was like 120, 130 pitches or something like that. And then, that was the highlight of his year by far. And then basically ended up becoming his career. It was bad, dude. Like, the guy was just done. You ruin people's arms sometimes by trying to push them just to get that no-hitter. And I know it's such an elite thing, but I agree with the call to pull him. Maybe not when he did. He could have probably gone another like 10 pitches or so. But like,
Yeah,
I
he
don't know
only
if
had
it,
80 some pitches, low 80s.
but you think about it, man. Like you don't,
He did
starters
have
usually
42 in game one,
right.
and that
So
was 3 days
right. So
ahead of this.
starters usually go every 5 days. So you're thinking 40 pitches. Yeah, give or take a few. I mean, yeah, he was around that 100
It was
range.
82.
If you kind of account for time on the arm.
Yeah,
That's it's probably the right move, man. And look, I'm all in with this new Orioles analytics department with the new GM and the coach that they brought in. Like, I think I'm just gonna believe him until it just falls on its face. And right now, everything's working well. Not that I think it's gonna continue like this, but I think I've I have no reason not to believe in it right now. So I'm okay
yeah,
with the move. It sucks. It sucks when you watch it and you're like, oh man, you're pulling this guy. But I agree with the move. But yeah, no, it's
yeah.
tough to, it's
And
tough
I
to
didn't
watch.
realize his pitch count was that high in those first
And
two
even
innings.
and even
So
Hess
that made sense.
came out afterwards. He was like, yeah, I was honestly kind of surprised, but after the manager explained it to me, after Hyde explained it to me, like I I ended up agreeing with him and settling down that I was upset that I was taken out of the game and the shock kind of wore off and we're ready to roll and the win's the more important thing at this point. So it's all good, man. So I got one more surprise start from non-star players, and this is a guy that, man, we touted for a couple of years in a row, and then he just kind of fell on his face. Colton Wong. I mean, he's batting amazing right now. He's got a few bombs on the year. He's batting close to 500 right now. Tonight, he's got 2 runs. He got a triple. But he's making great contact with the ball right now. Like, it's not going to continue. I'm not quite a believer yet, but look, if you want to pick him up as a hot bat right now, why not? The middle infield's kind of a spot sometimes, depending on how you drafted it, and sometimes you can just ride the hot hand. And Cold Wong is definitely hot right now, so I don't see any reason why not just to pick him up. And I'll say this because we're not going to cover a lot of waiver ads, or any waiver ads this week because there's just not a lot out there. I mean, we're 7 days into the season, or 6 days. I don't even know how many days in the season we are. 6 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 7 days. 7 days into the season, not counting the Japan games. So 7th day into the season at this point, just not a lot really to look at for waivers. Plus we're running long, so might as well cut it. But go ahead and look on the site. Dennis Sosick wrote his waiver piece. It went out this morning. He did mention Colton Wong, and it's his headline picture. So, and I'm 100% in agreement, obviously, right here. So, absolutely go out and grab him and ride the hot hand. I'd say if you're desperate to, like, Jeff McNeil playing pretty well for the Mets. I don't know if he mentioned him in his article, but I noticed last night when I was doing some research on Fantasy Pros that he was pretty low owned as well. But those are 2 kind of infielder guys that you can go grab for waivers. So, so that's all we got for the show this week. We will pick it up next week, I believe, and I think you're going to opening day for the Orioles tomorrow, right?
I am indeed keeping the tradition alive.
I thought about picking up tickets. They were available. I think they still are, probably, because whatever.
I think. I mean, we ended up getting ours on StubHub, but I was trying to keep tabs. I've been getting calls from the ticket reps to see if we wanted to renew our tickets this year because we ended up ditching them last year with the baby on the way, and we didn't re-up them this year, obviously, but opening day is our tradition. We always go. So definitely looking forward to it, getting to the ballpark and seeing what this team can do against those Yankees again.
Where are your seats?
We are we're sitting in the club level,
Oh, nice.
level, but not necessarily I don't think we're actually inside, where our season seats were the other year, 2 years ago.
Oh,
But
I know.
we have access to everything club level, which is
Yeah, like
phenomenal.
those seats that we got those one times where it's like the
Yes.
standing room kind of club level seats or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Kind of that area.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we're
that's not bad though,
right
man.
in
Those were
that
solid
same
seats. I
section,
like
actually.
those. Those are very solid
No,
seats.
I like it. I mean, we're gonna have a good view of the field. I think we might have some partial blockage with foul pole or whatever, but whatever. Foul pole's not that big of a deal to be
Yeah.
in the way.
Nah, you'll be all right, man. It'll be a good time. I was trying to go. I was trying to convince a couple friends to buy tickets last minute, but no could do. So, oh well. Another day, another
Yep.
year, whatever. I'll figure it out. All right, man. Well, that's all we got for the show. Hope everybody enjoyed. Hit us up on Twitter. Read the site. Good luck in your leagues. And we'll see you all next time.